Hi everyone, on this webinar we're going to take a look at arranging interviews between candidates and contacts. As with most of the recruitment workflows, there are several ways you can do this within the system. So if we go over to jobs and start off with a job record, we can see here we're in a contract job. Now we've gone from the front page, which is the summary page, down to the shortlist and CV section here. Now you can see I've got two candidates at the moment at shortlist stage. Now, from there, you can then work through any of the recruitment workflows on the right-hand side. So normally from here, you would then send CVs. After that's been done, you can then arrange interviews. So you can either tick an individual from the side, or you can use this tick to select everyone on the list and then click on interview to go and arrange those in the system. Now from here, we can see both of our candidates in that list. You can see that you can select up to 10 candidates and arrange interviews at one time. In the middle here, you just need to put in your date. This clock means today's date, or you can use the arrows to move back and forth, or use the calendar. If you then put a time in here, for example, if I put in 10, if you then tab on your keyboard, notice it gives you 1 hour for that interview. If you want to amend it, you can do so in here. On the right-hand side, it also gives you any telephone numbers that link to that candidate record, so you can immediately see their number, call them, and fit them in for the correct time slot here. At the top, it says interview to be held at, and you can select the correct address from here, and it'll pull that address through, which will then go in your email confirmation. Speaking of email confirmation, it says send docs by email. That is a standard default, which means that when we run through this workflow and confirm, it will produce an email, one to each candidate and one to the client confirming the interviews there. We can see our contact's name here, and we can see it's also linking to the company record, so it will be in all of these journals in the system once the workflow's run. Down from here, you can also select your terms of business and send those if you wish. And you can see you can also create a follow-up task to chase terms if you haven't received them back in here. If you'd like to write any notes linking to arranging the interviews, you can write them in the journal notes section, and it will appear on the journal of the contact and the candidates and any above linked records. So that's how you can go and send and create interviews in the system. Within the job record, you can also do that from here by clicking on the icon. So as long as you've selected candidates in here and click this icon, it will also produce exactly the same window where you can use that workflow. So it's the same for a contract job and the perm. It will have a shortlist and CVs page. It's slightly different within a temp job. So if we go in here to our receptionist job, you can see we're in a temp regular job. So if we go back to our pages, so this is our front page, and if we scroll down here, instead of shortlist and CVs, as we saw before, this page is called candidate activity. So you'd come into here where I am now, you'd have people either on the shortlist page or CV sent, and then you would tick on there and then click on interview, and then you can also arrange it from here. The other place you can do that as well is if we go over to a candidate in the system and click into their record. Again, from the drop down of pages, you'd normally be sitting in this profile page. So from here, you can go down to the candidate activity page, and this will list any jobs that the candidate has been submitted to. So we can see here supervisor role for Bruce. He's at shortlist stage at the moment. You can also tick from here on any role, and then you can go and click on interview candidate. So you can see again, it's the same workflow that you're running through in here. So great, you've also got the option on the candidate record. The last place we're going to is the studios. So again, there's multiple places you can run that workflow from here. So firstly, if I go to the candidate submittals widget and open it up, we can see here you've got candidates here submitted for jobs, and again it says what stage they're currently at. So if we've got, again, if we untick those here, Andy, that's at CV sent stage, from the right here, from the drop down, we can then go and arrange an interview for him with that particular job with Jane. Other options as well, we could go into the My Jobs widget here, and you can see against that supervisor role, if I click on the plus button, that will also show any submitted candidates and what their name is and what stage they're at. So again, from here, you can go on the final drop down and arrange an interview. So it's such a good shortcut being able to do these workflows just from the studios. So if you explore those, you'll find the interview workflow is in many different widgets. So as we've seen, there are multiple options of arranging interviews between the candidate and the contact.